Hello, friends. Welcome to your exciting and thrilling channel. Let's get started, my dear friends. Our story for this episode is truly strange and eerie. A train of gold, and it never returned in the conventional sense. A train departed from one place and arrived in another. But what's bizarre about it is that the journey lasted a whole century. How did that happen? Where did the train vanish to? How did it reappear? Is its story real, or is it just a figment of the imagination? Stay tuned, my friends, as we delve into the entire story. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated with our latest content. You can further support the channel on Patreon through the link in the description box, enabling us to continue bringing you exciting and fresh content. Your support makes a significant difference for us. The journey begins. The story, my friends, began in the year 1911, precisely on the 14th of July. On that day, the Italian train company, Zanetti, offered a complimentary trip to the wealthy and the nobility to promote their brand new luxurious train. This particular journey was set to commence from Rome, with the final destination being Milan, making stops at several stations along the way. One of the standout stations was a 1,000-meter-long tunnel situated between AMELİA and Lombardy. As planned, my friends, on the appointed day, passengers boarded the train, which consisted of 3 opulent carriages, accommodating 100 passengers, along with a crew of 6 from the company. The train's whistle signaled the commencement of the journey, and off they went. The luxurious train moved slowly along its tracks, allowing its passengers to indulge in the breathtaking natural vistas on either side of the railway. Lombardy Tunnel. Before the train reached the tunnel, a crowd had gathered to witness the arrival of the luxurious new train. On the other side of the tunnel, another group of people eagerly awaited the train's exit. The train arrived and entered the tunnel, which had been used by other trains before. 5 minutes turned into 10, and then more, but the train did not emerge. Everyone began to suspect that the train had broken down inside the tunnel. Local authorities were notified, and they arrived to enter the tunnel. What did they find, you ask? Nothing. They didn't find the train or even a trace of wreckage. They only found 2 men. These 2 men were later identified as survivors from among the 106 passengers who were aboard the train. These 2 men were found sitting on the railroad tracks in a state of complete shock and bewilderment. Search operations were initiated to find the train or any sign of it along the tunnel's length, but all efforts were in vain. There was no evidence of a collision or any other type of accident. After the 2 men recovered from their shock, investigators believed that the mystery would finally be solved. However, what the sole survivors revealed was far from reality and only added to the complexity of the situation. The 2 men informed the investigators that the train had entered the tunnel on its usual course, and everything was fine until they heard a peculiar murmuring sound within the tunnel. Following the appearance of this strange sound, a thick, white fog began to materialize and engulf the train entirely, as per the accounts of the 2 men. This fog transformed into a sticky, white substance upon contact with the train's structure. The 2 men managed to jump from the last carriage of the train, disappearing completely within the dense fog. They woke up on the ground, and there was no trace of the train. The statements of these witnesses sent shivers down the spines of the transportation and railway authorities. They decided to close the tunnel to prevent curiosity seekers and avoid a recurrence of the incident. During World War II, the tunnel was completely bombed and destroyed. Has the story ended here? Stay with us, my friends, to discover something even stranger. The mystifying testimony. The mention of the train vanished, its fate shrouded in mystery for over 2 decades. But the story re-emerged when a relative of one of the train's passengers stumbled upon a peculiar testimony. This testimony harks back to records from the Middle Ages, specifically linked to the Modena monastery in Italy. The testimony recounts a bizarre tale of a diabolical metallic carriage emerging from a plume of black smoke, trailing behind it 3 smaller carriages. From this sinister carriage emerged 3 darkly clad servants of the devil, relentlessly pounding on the monastery's door, seeking entry. However, the robust locks adorned with crosses thwarted their sinister intentions. The original version of the complete testimony was reportedly destroyed in the earthquake of 1908. What this man discovered was a mere fragment mentioned in the records. So, my friends, what are your thoughts? Could this possibly be the same train? The enigmatic train's reappearance. The mention of this train had vanished into thin air, remaining a mystery for over 2 decades, until the year 1991. It was then that the story of the train resurfaced in a Ukrainian newspaper, brought to light by several eyewitness accounts detailing the train's baffling appearances and sudden disappearances in the small village of Poltava, Ukraine. According to the article, one of the railroad workers reported seeing a train materialize out of nowhere. This train consisted of 3 enclosed carriages with curtains, and an empty locomotive compartment. It moved in eerie silence, overwhelming the local poultry as it traversed the roads. This account, as reported in the Ukrainian newspaper, sparked the interest of Vasily Lechety, the head of the Ukrainian Academy's Supernatural Phenomena Research Committee. This researcher delved into every piece of information related to this matter and stumbled upon a report from one of Mexico's most prominent physicians. What did this report entail, you may wonder? The Mexican doctor, José Saxeno, claimed to have examined 104 Italian patients in a psychiatric hospital in Mexico. Astonishingly, all of these patients insisted they had arrived in Mexico on a train that departed from Rome, Italy. What makes this even stranger, my friends? The oddity lies in the fact that this physician's report dates back to the year 1840, nearly 70 years before the train's disappearance. According to some, the Italians had adapted to their new reality and made a life in Mexico, while others argued that this doctor's report was the only trace of their existence. But the story of Vasily Lechety's obsession with the train didn't stop there. He, driven by an intense fascination, leaped onto the train during its last sighting in Ukraine in September of the same year, 1991, in the presence of several witnesses. However, after that, Lechety vanished completely, never to be seen again. Truly, something terrifying, isn't it, my friends? Numerous sightings have recounted the emergence and vanishing of this train without a trace. At times, it is claimed that the train takes flight and disappears into thin air. The train, as per these recorded sightings, seems to have a penchant for traversing between countries. It once appeared in Moscow only to disappear and reappear in Norway. It surfaced in the Balkans and, soon after, in Chernobyl, shortly before the infamous Chernobyl nuclear disaster. This train's story has also gained widespread notoriety in India, recording numerous sightings of its appearance and disappearance, as claimed by those who witnessed it. What's particularly intriguing is that the train always seems to be devoid of passengers. Between fact and fiction. Do you, my friends, believe that the passengers of the train remained in Mexico, known only to the doctor, Jose? Is it even remotely reasonable that the train simply meanders through temporal and spatial rifts, traversing parallel worlds? Listen closely, my friends, as we explore the truth together. Despite the vast amount of sightings, information, testimonies, and reports, you might be surprised to learn that the enigma surrounding the train remains shrouded in uncertainty. After meticulous research and consultations from various sources, I couldn't find any precise or documented scientific research on this subject. The company mentioned in the widely circulated story left no trace in the records of that period. Furthermore, the names previously mentioned, whether they were the survivors from the train, the Ukrainian researcher, or even the Mexican doctor, could not be verified as real individuals. Even historians, researchers, and journalists seem to have no recollection of the matter, as it appeared to be entirely absent from their memoirs. Thus, the strongest possibility, and perhaps the most realistic one, is that the entire story never transpired in the first place. It may have merely been a substantial media hoax, possibly created to promote tourist train journeys, and nothing more. As a result, the tale of the Zanetti 1911 train, one of the most famous stories of time-traveling trains, might be nothing more than a story suitable for reading during a train journey, no further. So, my friends, this is what we have regarding the Zanetti train, its story, and its reality. What do you think of the train's disappearance? Do you know of similar incidents on this level? I eagerly await your opinions and comments on this matter. Stay well and don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. Also, consider supporting the channel on the Patreon platform. Your support makes a significant difference, allowing us to continue bringing you exciting and novel content. Stay tuned, we'll be back very soon.